Hey, have you ever wondered, man, I just need to make $5,000 in the next 30 days and I'll be set? Well, on this video, I'm going to show you what I would do to make $5,000 in 30 days or less with very little money. And I'm going to do this as a two-part series. The first one's going to be about how I would do it with vacant land. And the second one is going to be how I would do it with houses. I've been in this real estate business a long time, done lots of deals, made millions of dollars in real estate. And right now, my favorite is land. So I like to say, flip dirt, not houses. Well, I'm going to show you if my back was against the wall, I lost everything, and I had to make $5,000 in the next 30 days to make rent or to make the mortgage payment or whatever. This is exactly what I would do. So you're going to learn a lot from this, and I want to encourage you as you're paying attention here and going through this. Don't just watch this to kind of, learn some cool tricks and tips or whatever. I want you to focus on this so that you can actually go out and do it yourself right now. Again, my assumption is I've lost everything. I need to make $5,000 and I don't have any money left. Now, I am going to still allow myself to have a Freedomsoft subscription, and I am going to be getting a list from somewhere, but I'm going to show you real quick what I would do. And I have my iPad here. I'm going to walk you through it. Now, I'm focusing on land here. First thing you have to understand is your income is directly proportional to the speed of implementation, or I like to say your speed to income is directly proportional to the number of offers that you make. It goes without saying, right? If you want to make a lot of money in this business, you need to do a lot of deals. If you want to do a lot of deals, you got to make a lot of offers. And if you want to make a lot of offers, you got to get a lot of leads. So I'm going to be showing you how to get leads. Now, obviously, we just want to do one deal. We want to make $5,000 on a deal. Now, most of our average profits, in fact, I was just talking earlier today to my acquisitions manager. We're looking at a deal right now. We bought it for we're all in at about $15,000 and we're selling it for $24,000. So our net at the end of the day is going to be right around $9,000. Now, I can't guarantee or promise that's going to happen to any of you, but this is a vacant land deal. It's about a half acre in a very popular county in down south. I'll just say that, but we're making $9,000. And this stuff, guys, once you learn how to do this, you can do this practically in your sleep. I mean, kind of, right? But your speed to income is directly proportional to the number of offers that you make, right? So if you figure on average, we're averaging really around 20 offers per deal, but let's say it's 30 and you want to do one deal to make at least $5,000, well, that means you need to make 30 offers, right? Well, let's just double that because I really want to do a deal. I really want to make sure, double sure, I'm going to make $5,000 in the next 30 days. So I want to make twice that. And, I'd always challenge you to double your goals anyway, right? So if our goal is to make 60 offers in 1 month, and let's say there's 20 work days in a month, that just means, all right, we need to make 3 offers a day. That's my challenge to you. I want to challenge you right now. If you want to make any money in this business, vacant land or houses, you need to make 3 offers a day. If that sounds intimidating or daunting, it's not, because I'm going to show you how to do that here. The other thing I want to tell you is you should talk to 5 sellers, if I can talk here, 5 sellers a day. Just make it a goal to talk to 5 sellers a day, and you will do deals. I cannot see how you can't. So that's my game plan. My game plan is very, very simple. I'm going to go out and make offers quickly. I'm not going to go spend a bunch of money on marketing and send a ton of letters or do Facebook ads or, I'm just going to make some simple things here. So the first thing we need to do, or number 2 in our plan, number 1 is obviously coming up with a plan. Number 2 is where is the demand? And this is true for houses or land. We want to know, all right, if I get a deal under contract, where can I sell it quickly? Where is there already a high demand for properties in that area? And we're going to follow the demand. This is very easy to find whether you're doing houses or land. And so one of the first sites I'm going to show you is LandWatch, and then I'm going to show you Redfin and Zillow. All right. So here on the screen, if I go to landwatch.com, I just click search. LandWatch is the number 1 website on the internet for advertising vacant land. So most of these properties are on the MLS, some of them are not. And I like to go after cheap rural recreational land or cheap land. Why cheap? Because there's more buyers that want cheap land. And by the way, do not be mistaken. There is a huge demand right now for vacant land. Even though the market and the economy is maybe slowing down a little bit, inflation is going up, interest rates are going up, we are seeing massive demand for good vacant lots. All right, so just looking at this list, all I'm doing here is looking for properties under 120 grand in the United States, and you can see the most popular states right here. Florida is number one, then Texas, North Carolina, Georgia, Arkansas. Believe it or not, Arkansas, a lot of activities happening down there right now. Tennessee, Michigan, California. Now, where's your state? You might say, man, I love Vermont. I live there. I want to do deals in Vermont. Well, let's look at Vermont. Only 220 listings in the state of Vermont right now. May not be the best place. Washington's gorgeous, but only 798 vacant land lots there. So, and same with Utah. Oregon's got a decent amount. I've done deals in Oregon. We've done deals in maybe 5 different states. But, you know, it doesn't matter if you're in an area that you really like, that you think is beautiful, you would love to have land out there. Just because you like it doesn't mean it's a good market. You need to follow the demand and put your preconceived notions aside and go where the demand is. I'm telling you, this makes everything so much easier when you follow the demand. So back to here, if I click see less, it just sorts them now from high to low. Let's pick Florida. Well, I'm not going to pick Florida because what I don't want you all to do is, as you're watching this, everybody go into Florida because it is a competitive, difficult state. I like to look at number 2, number 3, number 4. When I'm looking at a state, when I'm looking at counties in that state, I usually don't go for the very, very top one, although you can, and you will do deals. You notice also Colorado is a very popular, beautiful state, but it's not on my list here, is it? So anyway, let's just go into Georgia, for example. Georgia's got a beautiful, beautiful state. A lot of these kinds of properties, big rolling hills and stuff like that. And if you scroll down, you'll see here on the left, I'll zoom in a little bit more. You see the ranking of the counties, where most of the counties where most of the activity is. Gilmer County, Union County, Camden, Fulton, Pickens, Towns, et cetera, et cetera. So let's look at Gilmer County first. And you can do this in different websites, Zillow and Redfin. I'm just going to show you in Redfin. And I want to see, all right, in these counties here in the state of Georgia, which county has the most sold in the last 90 days? So let's look at Gilmer County here. And actually, let me go back there. And let's go to Gilmer County. Again, I'm doing this in Redfin. You can do the same thing in Zillow. And you can see where Gilmer County is if I zoom out a little bit. It's north of Atlanta, kind of southeast of Chattanooga. It's a rural area, very beautiful. Probably a lot of people go there to go hunting, camping, ride their four-wheelers. Maybe from Atlanta, they just go there to get off the grid, to hide from the government, okay? So here what we're going to do is we're going to go to solds in the last 3 months. Click done. For home type, we're going to select land, click done. And you can see right here, 159 properties have sold in the last 90 days. So what I do in my paper here, wherever you're writing this down, you're going to write Gilmer County, and it's going to be 159, right? All right, cool. Let's go to the next one, Union County, right? All right, let's search for Union County. 78. Union, 78. Cool. How about Camden County? Let's go there. Camden County is 77. Solds. All right. When I'm looking at these counties too, I like to sort it from low to high. And you see the activity that's going on here. If you click on table, you can see all these properties here. And the cool thing too, and I'm not going to do this, on some states and some counties, Redfin actually gives you a download button right here. You can download them and you can see the average size of the properties that are being sold here. But if I'm going to find vacant land, do you think it might make sense to sell land where there already is a high demand? And we already have, just real quickly, we find 3 counties that have a lot of demand. Let me show you real quick how to do this in Zillow, all right? If we were go looking at Gilmer County, now some states, Zillow has better data. Some states, Redfin has better data. We just get used to whatever you like. I'm going to make sure home type is land only. Cool. You're going to more. We're going to scroll down. Make sure there's no limits, minimum or max on the lot size. And you want to do sold the last 90 days. All right. So you can see here, Zillow has 146 compared to Redfin 159. Why? Again, I don't know. Let's try Union County, Georgia. Union County has 73. All right, let's look at Camden. All right, Camden has 80, which is interesting, right? Normally what I like to do is I want to target first the counties, rather, that have the most activity. So Gilmer might be number 1, maybe Camden is number 2, maybe Union is number 3. Well, the thing is, when you're looking at counties, you want to just go into, you don't need to worry about picking the number 1 county or just one county. You want to pick 5 or 10 counties, because in a lot of these, you're not going to be able to get a big enough list to do your marketing to or whatnot. So for now, Gilmer County is a hot activity, a lot of things going on there. And if we go here back to Redfin and we do a search, Gilmer County, Georgia, what kind of activity is happening here? Go to photos and you can see now, don't be intimidated or freaking out by the number of low-priced lots. I don't care about the price right now. I just care about the activity. Camden County, or Gilmer County rather, for whatever reason, a lot of activity is happening there. I'm thinking this is awesome. I'm scrolling down here. Usually these lower priced ones are very, very small lots bought at maybe tax deed or tax foreclosures, or sometimes they're sold with owner financing, or sometimes these are just properties that investors are buying. But if we go down here some more, here we go. We start getting into the $11,000 properties. If you go to page 2, 15,000, 17,000, 20,000. All right, so what we do, I like to target properties that I can sell for 20, 30, 40 to 50,000. I'd say maybe I want to target properties I can sell from $25 to $50,000. And when we make our offers, we make offers at 25 cents on the dollar. So an average wholesale fee for us is around 10 grand. Sometimes we'll make 9, like the one I'm just doing right now, or sometimes we'll do 15. We got a deal. We got 2 deals right now in Florida. We're making a $24,000 assignment fee on each of them. So depending, again, when you go into areas with high demand, you're going to sell them faster. You're going to make bigger assignment wholesale fees with these deals, okay? So number 1, you need to know where is the demand. So start with LandWatch, then look at Zillow and Redfin to find out which ones have the most sold in the last 90 days. The next thing you need to do that I'm going to suggest, especially again, this is if you have no money or very little money. The next thing I'm going to suggest you do is contact realtors. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me show you here. All right, so I went to Google and did a search for Find Agents Zillow, and Zillow has this agent search thing. And one of the reasons why I like finding agents on Zillow, these are agents that are spending money to be one of Zillow's premier agents. And so if you know if a realtor is investing money in marketing to grow their brand, they're doing a lot of business. And so what I'm thinking about here is now you contact agents that do a lot of listings in whatever area you're in, and you contact them and you say, hey, listen, if you ever find a vacant lot that you don't want to list, I am an investor. I buy vacant land. I will pay you 10% commissions on the buy side and 10% commissions on the sell side. You can represent me. So I'll pay you 10% commissions when I buy it. And I'll pay you, you can also list it for me, and I'll pay you 10% commissions when I sell it. Now, you may be thinking, why on earth would you offer that? That's a lot of money. Isn't it expensive to use realtors? No, I'm telling you, you cannot afford not to use realtors. Realtors are a huge source of leads. They bring you a lot of business, a lot of leads. And if you can find a way to just stay in touch with them, reach out to them, say, hey, if you ever find a vacant land listing that you don't want, send it to me, I'll buy it. And they have to be off market. That's really important. Make sure you tell them it's off market. So anyway, I went to Google. I just did Find Agents Zillow, and I found this article. And then somewhere here you click this, and it takes you to here. So Zillow.com/professionals/real estate agent reviews, and then I did the county, Gilmer County, Georgia. All right. So somewhere in Zillow you'll find this, but you want to go into the county that you're looking at and look for the top real estate agents. Now, were these top producing agents in terms of volume of properties that they've sold, or just reviews, or maybe these were realtors that paid Zillow a lot of money to be featured here? I don't know, and I don't care, but here's what I do care about. I care about these phone numbers here. And if you click on Cindy West, for example, you're going to get some information about her, and You get some reviews, see the listings that she has. She's got a lot of for sale listings and she has a lot of sold listings. So what does that tell you? This is a realtor who does a lot of business in this area. Now, do you think anybody else, do you think anybody's calling her and saying, hey, if you find a cheap off-market vacant lot that nobody wants and you don't want to list it because the commissions are way too small, if you bring it to me off-market, I will pay you 10% when I buy it. And then you can help me sell it, and I'll pay you another 10% commissions when I sell it. So the cool thing is, now, this may not work as well in a rural county like Gilmer County, right? But what if you started contacting agents, realtors that are just doing $500 million homes in the Atlanta area, the top producing house listing agents in Atlanta, and say, hey, what do you do with your vacant land listings? They probably throw them all away, right? Well, what if you sent them to me and I'll pay you generous commissions on them? So anyway, what we're going to do is we're sticking with Gilmer County here. So I'm just looking for, all right, who are the agents that are doing a lot of land here? Now, you could also go into Zillow and do a search for or this is Redfin rather, look for all the properties that are for sale, that are just vacant land. And you can start going through these and finding the agents of some of these land listings and give them a call. Julia Krusik, all right? There's only so many of them. There's not as many as you might think, not a ton of them. But call them up and say, hey, what's going on? Tell them who you are, etc. So Cindy West, give her a call. I'm going to tell you in a minute what to say to them. These guys here, North Georgia Mountain Duo. You may not find a phone number here. Well, there's actually, there you go, boom, cell phone number. Call them up, talk to them, and tell them who you are, what you're doing. Now, back to my iPad here. I'm looking for top producing agents. I want to send them video text messages and or phone calls. And again, like I told you, tell them things like, I'm going to pay you 10% twice when I buy it and when I sell it. And I'm going to recommend to you that you call 10 a day. Now, what else could you look for? I just did some more Googling, top producing agents in real estate. I found this website from Fast Expert. Again, I don't know if these are people that pay extra money or if they're part of some coaching program which gets them on here. Who knows what's going on with realtors these days. But here I am looking in Gilmer County, Georgia, and these are some agents that are on here that you can reach out and contact. Those guys are number 6 on this list and number 2 on that other list. There's another website I found from newsweek.com that list. I just did a search for all of the top producing agents in Georgia, and this is from 2020, so this is old data, but what it shows you is the top agents, and it lists the number of transactions and the volume that these realtors do. All right, so what do you do when you contact these people? What do you do? I'm going to recommend something really, really simple. A real simple script with your phone. And I would recommend sending them a video text, just from your phone. If you have an iPhone, if you have an Android, doesn't matter. Send these texts from your phone. You want it to be personal. You do not want a virtual assistant to do this. You do not want to outsource this to anybody. You don't want to send an email or a text. You want to just see them face to face, and you want to let them know you're a real person. So I would, right here, good, here's a cell phone number, okay? I would do my cell phone video, just like a normal text. You're sending a text to your kids. Hey, Chad, my name is Joe. I see you're one of the top producing agents in Gilmer County, Georgia. I want to introduce myself to you. I'm an investor, and I buy vacant land. If you have any vacant lots that are off market that I can buy at a discount, I will gladly pay you 10% commissions for every deal that you bring to me. And then when I resell them, I will also pay you 10% commissions on the sell side, okay? I'd love to hear from you. Give me a call or just reply to this text. Thank you very much, Chad. Bye-bye. So that's what I would do. Very simple. And if you did 10 of those a day, once you talk to a few of them, stay in touch with them. Probably not going to give you a listing right away, but they might say, yeah, you know what? I might know somebody. I'll keep you in mind. You could say something like, hey, can I just send you my contact information? And they may say, yeah, sure, let's do it. Okay, cool. That is going back to review here. Number 1, you follow the demand. Number 2, we contact realtors and just tell them you're looking for vacant land off-market listings. Now, that's 10 a day. The next thing I would do is I'd be making offers on older listings. Now, what does that mean? Let's just go here to Gilmer County on Redfin. And I'm going to look at for sale, and I'm going to go to all filters, and I want to find all the vacant lots that have been on Redfin for more than either 90 or 180 days. Let's do 180 days. So it goes from 701 down to 350. So half of these vacant lots have been on the market over 6 months. Why don't these properties sell? It's simple. They're overpriced. So what if you have to make, 3 offers a day? What if you go and just find 3 properties that have been on the market for a long time, contact the realtors, and start making offers on these properties? So now we're sorted by newest. You could also sort from low to high. If you wanted to, you could even maybe cap it at 150, so we're not looking at the real expensive properties. And you could even cap it if you wanted to eliminate the real cheap ones. Let's say we want to sell, I like to sell them at 25 to 50 grand. So let's say every lot between 25 to 150, let's say. There's 170, and if we sort this by newest, these are the ones that are just now coming on the market. So you can click on these. Now, I'm not a big fan of the subdivision lots, but still, you can still do a lot of deals with subdivisions. But when you see 4 listings in a row with the same picture, generally you just kind of skip them. Find something like this, 2.27 acres, and you can see Robert Post right there. So I'm just going to Google. Sometimes you'll see a phone number there, sometimes you won't. I'm just going to copy that, going to go to Google, find this guy's information. There's a phone number there's a phone number right there. That might be the broker's office phone number. That might be the realtor's phone number. You can usually click on one of these links that you find and get more information about Robert Post. You can scroll down and a lot of times see their contact information. There it is. There's a phone number right there. So you can send them an email, and I'll tell you what I say here. Let's look at maybe this one here. Joan, Berkshire Hathaway, and also Georgia MLS. So there you go. Direct phone number. Now this is my conversation. Let's say her name is Joni. I'm going to say, hey, Joni, this property, look, it's 3.1 acres. It's been on the market for over 6 months. So my script is going to be really, really simple. Hey, Joni, my name is Joe, and I am a land investor, and I see you have a listing for 43 grand on Prospectors Pass near LEJ. And do you mind if I ask you some questions about it? I'm looking for some vacant land here. I'm an investor. I buy properties at steep discounts, and I usually turn around and I sell them with owner financing, or I sell them for cash or something. But I'm looking to buy more land. And I see this property's it looks really nice. It's been on the market for over 6 months. Do you mind if I ask you some questions about it? And so I just start a conversation. Again, not pretending, because I am, but I am kind of pretending actually that I have $100,000 burning a hole in my pocket, and I'm looking for a vacant lot to buy. And so I'm asking her, can you tell me about this thing? Why? Looks like a beautiful property. Why hasn't it sold yet? Is it too steep? Is it in a bad area? Is it not enough demand? Is it too hard to get to? I'm surprised. It looks like a great area. What's going on? And I might ask the realtor some questions of like, well, how is the owner must not be in a hurry. Have they dropped the price? Do you know if have they gotten any offers on it? Any offers that they've rejected? Where do you think I would need to be? By the way, I was scrolling down here and looking, and you can see it originally listed for 32.5 in 21. They dropped it, or they sold it in 21. And then they're trying to sell it for more a year later, and it's 43,250. So it's been on the market for a long, long time, and it hasn't sold yet. So I want to find out why. Now the realtor can't tell me everything, but I might say something like this. I said, Joni or whatever, I'm really interested. I'd like to make an offer, but my offer is probably going to be pretty ridiculous, and I want to know, do you think, how negotiable are they on their price? Just leave it like that. Do you think they would? Now, normally when I buy a property, I get my calculator here. I'm buying it at like 25 to 35 cents on the dollar. So let's say this property it hasn't sold for 43 grand, so it's not worth 43 grand. Sometimes what I do is I take the list price times 85%. So maybe the property would sell for about 36,000. So if I'm going to sell it for 36, just rough numbers here, I want to be at maybe 35% of that. So I'm going to take 36 times 0.35. So I'm going to say, Joni, I know this is probably not anywhere near what the sellers would want, but would they consider anything maybe in the $10,000 to $15,000 price range, or just probably not? See what she says. If they say, No, that would be totally offensive and she'd get mad. Oh, by the way, I forgot this. One of the things I also tell realtors is, listen, I'm looking for an agent to represent me. So if you can bring me a deal, or if I could buy this one, you can represent me and get both sides of the commission. So I'm trying to get the realtor on my side as well to help me find a deal. Because if this one doesn't work out, maybe she can find me another off-market listing that I can work with her on and pay her generous commissions on, okay? So I know this probably is not going to work, Miss Realtor, but would they accept anything in the $10,000 to $15,000 range? Oh my gosh, no. Well, why would you even say that? By the way, while I'm talking, one of the reasons I like Redfin is I click on this square here. It opens up a map of the property. I can click map nearby homes for sale. And I can see other vacant lots that are currently for sale. I click on land right here. And I'm going to click low to high. And her property is 43,000, right? So I'm looking at other properties nearby. I'm going to zoom out. And it's 3 acres, right? I might go here to more filters, and I might do a filter for lot size of 2 to 5 acres. There's 4 lots, okay? Zoom out again. Zoom out again. All right, so now I'm seeing some properties that are cheaper. 32,000, 39,000. So I might ask the realtor, I'm looking, there's some other properties a few miles away, similar size, that are cheaper for like 32 grand. I don't know. I mean, tell me, if you were in my shoes, do you think it'd be fair to pay 43 grand when I can buy this lot 5 miles away for 32 grand? And then I might go here to solds, look in the last year, click done. Oh my gosh. Joni, I see a property real close here that sold for $18,500 back in March, just a few weeks ago, actually. Jeez. So how negotiable are they on their price? How are they stuck on the 42 grand? So I'm talking to the realtor, right? Number one, I'm being nice, friendly, asking her, you wouldn't have a few minutes, would you? I catch you in the middle of something. I'm telling the realtor, I'll let you represent me. You can get both sides of the commission. I'm looking for vacant land deals. She knows I'm not a retail buyer. She knows I'm an investor. I buy at discounts. She also knows that I typically like to resell properties on owner financing, but the numbers have to work. And I'm willing to pay the realtor generous commissions, 10% on the buy side, 10% on the sell sides. You know what I'm saying here, right? So I'm making offers, right? But it's verbally, it's over the phone. How much does this cost you to do? Zero. It doesn't cost anything. So I'm going to tell the realtor, look, I'm seeing properties here similar size, maybe even a little bigger, that sold for 25, 30 grand less. Oh no, there's another one for 23. Here's another one for 27, 27. Oh boy, if I zoom out, by the way, I can see more. So you want to find cheap comps. You want to be talking to them on the phone. All right. So then I finally wrap up the conversation with the realtor like this. I'll say, usually it ends to where, why don't you just maybe go ahead and send me an offer. I'll let the realtor know, because it's been 6 months and this realtor's probably pretty tired of listing this property. She's probably not gotten very many calls on it at all. And if anything, she needs to present some kind of offer to the seller to finally get them to realize I'm asking for way too much. It's way overpriced. And I'm getting these lowball, ridiculous offers, but I'm telling the realtor, this is actually going to help you sell this property faster, because you can position my lowball offers to maybe at least get the seller to be a little more realistic so that they can lower their price and eventually sell this lot. Don't you want this lot sold? All right. So I'm going to ask the realtor again, based on my numbers, I want to buy it for like 12 or 13,000 bucks. I say, well, if I'm going to buy it, I'm going to need to be right around the 12 to 13,000, $15,000. If I could get the seller more than that, maybe if I could get the seller something like, I take my cash offer of 13 grand and I double that to 26. If I could get the seller like $26,000 or maybe 30, they wouldn't consider seller financing, would they? Now, this is arbitrage play. I don't have much time to go into this, but basically what it is I can pay more for a property if the seller can give me terms. I can give them closer to their price if they give me my terms, which are what? Low down, low interest or no interest at all. And so I can offer the seller. So my offer might be, hey, I could pay cash this ridiculous offer, or I could pay more, maybe double, if we could do some kind of seller carryback financing, or I could pay the seller payments over time. And there's different ways you can structure this. It could be principal only payments, very low interest, etc. Normally what I'll do is I'll do 5 to 10% down, and I will do 3 to 5, maybe 6, 7% interest. It doesn't matter. We're just talking about a few dollars a month in payments. So then what do you mean? Well, Joe, how do you make money with that? Well, let's say I buy it with owner financing at 25. I'm going to sell it at 35 or 40,000 on owner financing. I'm going to pay the seller, I don't know, just round numbers, $200 a month, and I'm going to collect $500 a month for my end buyers. What do you have there? You have a $500 a month cash flow. And you could even wholesale that owner financing contract for a quick $5,000 assignment fee. You understand what I mean? So don't just give the seller one option. You could go from getting 1 out of 30 offers accepted to maybe 1 out of 15 accepted, or 3 offers out of 30 accepted, when you can offer them multiple different options. And the realtor still gets their same commissions, okay? So let me give you an example of how this might work, okay? Again, we're trying to do 10 a day. We're looking at actives that are maybe 100+ days old, and we're going to be making cash offers between 25 to 35%. Now, what I like to do when I'm talking to the sellers, try to be open to some creative options. So if I'm making a cash offer at X, I'm going to make an owner financing offer at 2X. So if I'm, as an example here, let's say I make a cash offer. I want to make a cash offer at $4,500. I might offer then $9,000 of owner financing. And sometimes I'll do it 10% down, 6% interest in 5 years. So if you look at this as an example, my payment, if the seller accepts that, will be $156 a month payment to the seller. Then I'm going to turn around and sell that deal that I'm buying for $9,000. I'm going to sell it for $18,000, and I'm going to collect $344.20. So what is my cash flow on this deal? $187 a month. Now, that may not sound like a bunch to you, but how much money did I put into this deal? None. I am paying the seller $900, but I'm collecting about 10% of $18,000. I'm collecting about $1,800. So I'm getting 10% down from the buyer, and I'm paying 10% down, but on different prices. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm getting cash flow. What is my cash on cash return on this kind of deal? Insanely good. That's what it is, right? And again, you don't have to keep this for 5 years. You could just wholesale this contract. Do you think you could wholesale this contract for $5,000 to somebody who's only going to have to pay $156 to just come in and take your place? All right, you understand? Cool. Now, the next thing I would do is I would start cold calling sellers. So the first thing, just to review here, hope I'm not losing you. Number one, I would be contacting top producing agents, 10 a day. Hey, you bring me any land listings, I'll pay you 10%. And then when I sell them, I'll pay you another 10%. Second thing is I would be making offers on older listings, looking for properties on Redfin or Zillow, mainly Redfin. I like that better. Been on the market over 6 months, talking to the realtors. And I say, hey, listen, can I get your contact info? I'll just mail you some numbers. And maybe, do you have anything else that this might work for? I forgot that. Such an important question. You always ask realtors, do you have anything else where this might work? Do you have any other off-market listings, or do you have any other land listings where you know the seller might be finally willing to negotiate on their price, drop their price, or do some kind of creative seller financing? All right. Now, I'm going to start cold calling sellers. Now, I know some of you do not like cold calling. I get it. I don't like it either. But let me tell you something. It works. We just did a 2-day implementation workshop with some land students here in St. Louis, and we got about 12 of them, and we like to keep these small. And they either had a bunch of leads already in their database, we use Freedomsoft, or we gave them a bunch of leads. And man, it was so much fun. We just rolled up our sleeves, and we started calling sellers and making offers, doing the stuff, right? We all know what we need to do, but we just sat down there 2 days dedicated. Let's get to work. Let's make some offers, right? Well, one of the things that we've for years, I've been doing just direct mail. We send neutral letters, 24-hour recorded voicemail. But again, I'm trying to show you here, if you don't have much money for direct mail, how can you start getting leads? How can you start making offers? Well, we've been doing cold calling for houses for a long time. Gavin, my coaching business partner who helps me with these implementation workshops, he said, hey, give me some leads. And so we picked a really popular competitive county where there's a ton of investors doing a lot of direct mail. And we started cold calling them. And get this, so Gavin my coaching business partner uses Filipino VAs. He uses virtual assistants from the Philippines to do his cold calling for him. Normally, for a VA that's doing cold calls for about 3 or 4 hours a day, they'll get 1 or 2 leads. And a lead is anybody who answers the phone and says, yeah, I'd consider selling my house, make an offer. So again, 3 to 4 average number of hours that one of his VAs works a day doing cold calling, they'll get 1 or 2 leads. With vacant land, what we've been doing now, in this really competitive market, he's getting 5 to 6 leads. So I don't know what that is. 2, 3, 4 times the amount of leads. So it's crazy awesome. So even in competitive markets where a lot of land investors are doing direct mail, nobody's doing cold calling yet. So I don't know. How hungry are you? How bad do you want to deal? If I had to get money and I only had 30 days to do it, this is exactly what I would do. I would start cold calling. So there's a few tools. Again, like I said, I would do whatever I could. I would borrow money from my grandma to get Freedomsoft, okay? Freedomsoftjoe.com. And I would borrow a little bit more money to get a list. So you're going to need a list of vacant landowners from a site like Priced. Now you can get lists of houses from Freedomsoft, but Freedomsoft you can't get land yet. You could also use PropStream if you wanted. If you go to PropStreamJoe.com, you can use PropStream to get vacant land. But let me show you what I would do. I'm just going to share my screen in a minute here. I'm going to show you how I get a list from Priced, then how I would put it into Freedomsoft, and how I would start cold calling. And I'll show you a little bit of the script that I use. My goal would be to cold call about 50 a day. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to get a hold of all 50. If I make 50 dials, I'll probably talk to 10 to 15 on average people, which is very, very simple and easy to do. So if you go to landlist.us, it's going to take you to Priced, which is a tool that I've been using for a long, long time. They get their data from DataTree, but they are a specialty list provider for vacant land. So all you do is you go here to Price Land, and let's type in Gilmer County. And I'm going to look. I usually don't like to, well, you know what? Let me explain something else here. When I'm in some markets, like in Florida, for example, and I'm in an area where it's closer to the city, you're typically going to look for smaller properties because that's what's mostly being sold there. So if I'm in, for example, in the Fort Myers, Florida area, most of the lots that are being sold there are little quarter-acre lots. Most of the lots that are being sold in Gilmer County are going to be at least over an acre long. This is in the hills, so I don't want the little quarter-acre lots. Those are going to be really hard to sell. I want the bigger lots, probably the 1 to 10, 1 to 20 acres. So I'm going to do minimum acreage 1. Let's do max acreage 20. This pulls vacant land. I'm excluding people that live in the county. I only wanted male people that don't live in that county. And then for sale date, I want to only pull people that have owned their properties for over 10 years. So I'm going to pick a date. Okay. They've owned the property over 10 years. Then I click search. And while that's going on here, I want to open up my Freedomsoft account. Now there's a lot of tools you can use for cold calling. Let me just show you one of our campaigns that we're doing right now for cold calling. And this is insane. We so far have 134 leads from cold calling. It's going. So this is just from the last few days. We're starting to catch up with that. But first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go get a phone number. I'm not going to walk through all the steps right here, but you can see we get a bunch of vacant land phone numbers for our campaigns. A lot of direct mail, now cold calling and stuff like that. But you can get a phone number, $4 a month for an extra phone number. And then you would get that phone number and you would call it Gilmer County Cold Calling. All right. Back here to Price, we have 2,800 records. And if I sort this from DataTree records high to low, most of these properties are 1 to 2 acres, 2 to 3 acres, 3 to 4 acres, 4 to 5 acres. Okay. So let's just download one of these, for example. Let's download the 4 to 5 acres. And I use geo pricing. Again, I'm not going to go into all the details of all this, but the thing I love about Price is it gives me comps. And there's no other data provider for vacant land that gives you really solid comps. And I'm setting the offer price at 25%. Cool. And I'm going to click continue. I'm going to scrub any field names that I want. Click continue. I'm going to exclude church owners, government owners, non-U.S. addresses, same zip code as parcel, and that's it. Click continue. And if I want to, I can skip trace the data here. I'm not going to do that because I do it in Freedomsoft. You can generate a campaign map. What that means is it puts it in Google Earth. Cool. And then you can check out. Now, I'm not going to do this right now, but that's how you do it. You get a list. Price gives you all of these vacant landowners. Again, they've owned this property for over 10 years and they live outside the county. This is why I love land so much, is because these sellers are more likely to be motivated to want to sell. They're less attached to the property. They don't live near it. They maybe haven't been there in years and years. They inherited the property. They're done with paying taxes or whatnot. All right, so then you get that list. You're going to import it into Freedomsoft, and when you do that, you're going to import it in as a list. And one of the campaigns that we're working on right now is this list right here, and you could view them all. And I imported in about 18,000 for this one area that we're in. So all you're going to do is you would select, actually, let me go to a page here just to show you real quick kind of what we do. I would select 20 or 40 of them or whatnot, okay? Clear selections. Boom. And I'm going to go right here to more actions, and right here inside of Freedomsoft, I would skip trace these leads. And then I would start calling them. It's really easy to do cold calling here in Freedomsoft, but once you skip traced, you can then start, they'll give you 5, 6, 7, maybe 1 or 2 phone numbers for every record. You start calling them. To do that, you go here to, I already started one. It's called Click to Call Dialer. And this one is queued and ready to go. And you can see the names and phone numbers here of 94. So every day you just go in and you dial 50. And you click here. You just click dial. As soon as they answer, you click on the record. It opens up this, and you can see all the information about the property, and you can talk to them, et cetera, et cetera. Now, what do you say? So, hey, Rayco, my name is Joe. I know this is out of the blue. I'm calling, do you own this 1.6 acre vacant lot in Gilmore County, Georgia? Oh, you don't? Okay, I'm sorry to bother you. Thanks. And then I just mark that number as do not call, right? Then go to the next number. Hey, Rayco, Joe here. I know out of the blue. You don't own this 1.3 acre lot in Gilbert County, do you? Oh, you do. Cool. Listen, you wouldn't have any interest in selling it, would you? I'm looking to buy some property in the area. You wouldn't have any interest in maybe entertaining an offer, would you? Oh, you would. Okay. Well, do you mind if I ask you a few questions about it? I'm just going to ask you some questions, get some information, see if it might be a good fit for me, and then I'll send you an offer, and you can just say yes or no. Is that all right? Boom. So I'm setting the agenda. And now I just go into asking questions mode. He might say, well, how'd you get my number? I said, well, I just looked in public records. What's the truth? Do you mind if I ask you about this lot? Are you interested in selling it or not? If not, that's totally fine. I'll get off the phone. My apologies. Okay? Start talking. He said, well, make a number. Come up with a number. I might say, well, I don't know enough about this. What do you think would be a fair price? What kind of number would make you happy? Well, I don't know, just make an offer. I said, well, I can pull it up on Redfin or something. I might say, I'm looking at it here, and I see some properties that have sold recently in the 10 to 15,000. If I offered you something like that, how would that make you feel? Oh, that's ridiculous. Then I would say, well, good thing I didn't offer that then, right? So what do we need to do to get you closer to that number? So I'm constantly asking questions. Do you see what I'm doing there? Just asking questions. Imagine, guys, if you did 50 dials, you talked to 5 or 10 of these sellers a day, maybe 3. If you just talk to 3 of a day, do you think you might get an offer? So, let's say you're miles apart. You say, well, man, I don't think I can get you that number. If I could get you something closer to that, you wouldn't consider maybe taking payments over time, like through seller financing, would you? Ooh, now they maybe can get them more money if they accept payments over time through seller financing, right? Now you have a bunch of different options available. So critical. Let's go back to my iPad here. Do 30 to 50 dials a day. You want to make sure that you're sending, number one, summary. You want to send 3 offers. Oh, by the way, you see I have a $sign there? This is where the money's made, okay? Getting on the phone. It's called the flap your lips method. You know, a mutual friend of ours, Brent Daniels, you guys know him. He's a beast. He has the TTP thing, the talk to people. This is where, if you're not on the phone, guys, you're not making money. Sales is the $1 million skill. So that's why I put the $sign here instead of the X or the pound sign, right? So you want to make sure you're making 3 offers a day. That's the goal. And you're talking to at least 5 sellers a day. This is exactly what I do. I would do if I had to make $5,000 in 30 days or less. Now, what are we doing that right now? Yeah, we're doing cold calling. We're also doing a bunch of direct mail. I'm not the guy on the phone. I've got VAs doing cold calling for me. I have Freedomsoft doing my direct mail for me. So, and then we only send offers to the sellers right now after they leave us a voicemail or they've said, yeah, they want to sell. We'll just send them an offer, and we get about 1 out of 25 or so that will accept our offer that we send to them. And we only really kind of talk to them after they get our offer. Maybe that's a little confusing. If you'd like more information about how we run our land business, just go to simplelandclass.com. I got a special webinar on there, and I have a mind map that you'll get after the end of the webinar. And you'll also get a little book, a PDF of a book that I wrote explaining the whole process. So I'm going to show you here how to find the sellers, how to find the demand, kind of like we talked about, how to find the sellers, how to make offers, how to sell the properties very quickly. You're going to get a lot out of it. So go right now to simplelandclass.com, and I'll see you there. Thanks again, everybody.